What's going on, Clippers fans? Welcome to season 4, episode 13 of Clips and Dip. I am Chuck Bockler. The full crew is here. We got Adam Osland, William Updike. If you're still listening to Clippers podcast, we hope we're one of your favorite. If you want to watch us, you can find us at youtube.com/@Clippers podcast. Reviews help us wherever you can leave them. The Clippers are not playing well. Making breakdowns is hard for when the team is like this. Adam and Will, how are you doing? How's it going?
We're here. We're still showing up.
We are still showing up. They just keep losing, and
they keep showing up.
They do continue.
Well, I had a friend who
they're there.
He had perfect attendance, but he kept getting D's and C's, and they would say, "You are in attendance, but you are not present." And that's how it feels that some of the performances have been. It did not turn his scholastic career around. They're 5-16.
He didn't understand what that meant.
Yeah, he went, "What the hell are you talking about?"
It went over his head.
Most recent loss to the Heat, they gave up a 30-2 run at one point, which that wasn't very fun. Last week, when we were kind of talking about trades and stuff, Will, I've had a couple hypotheticals that we talked about last week that have now basically become true. You were like, "Oh, when we were 4-10, you were like, oh, double this up. What if we're 8-20? What would you do? Would you make trades then?" We're pretty damn close to 8-20. What?
Yeah.
And the other one that had me freaked out was when I was like, I think we'd know if James Harden was very frustrated based on how he would act in a post-game interview. And then we got the post-game interview after the Mavs game where he was like, it's just difficult. Everything is difficult when it comes to trying to work on stuff.
We might be at 5-20, dude. Like, it's not unfeasible.
I brought this up like 3 weeks ago, like 20 losses before 10 wins.
Is that the Phil Jackson rule?
Yep. That's where you want to be.
That's like the Eric Musselman rule or something.
Yeah.
It's 50 wins before 20 losses is what you want if you're aiming to be a championship team.
Okay, so we have some room to go.
That's the Magic Johnson as a head coach rule.
Yeah. So, what? I guess, haggle, no haggle. Could things get any worse? In the scheme of reality, like for how this is going, yes, obviously there's two catastrophic things that could happen.
Is it better or worse that Kawhi is back?
Averaging 35 the last 3 games, crazy efficiency. Honestly, you look at the individual numbers of him and James Harden this year, and you're like, how do they have just 5 wins?
What happens? Are they going to continue to just try and be better?
I think it still starts on defense. And I'm not even talking about transition defense because that's probably a lost cause.
Just the chapter titled defense.
Yeah, just get back to being, a top 15 defense. Is that too much to ask right now? Apparently, that they'd have to jump up like 10 or 12 spots to get there.
That might be too much to ask.
It's crazy that they can't even be average defensively after what we saw last year.
They're 26th.
Yeah.
They're also, they are like, somebody released a graphic today of like points given up by turnover, and they are head and shoulders above the worst team. Like they're in a different column
than the Jazz. There's a substantial gap between the Clippers and the Jazz on that graph. I call it the Gulf of Inglewood. Said that joke at work. No one laughed. No one cared.
Say you take out the 41 points off turnovers they gave to the Orlando Magic that one game. Say you take that out. Then where are they at?
They're still the worst. But the gap is closing, my friend.
What's so frustrating is like even when last night the Clippers like were killing them in fast break points or points off of turnovers. They were up plus 10 early in the game in points off of turnovers. So even when a thing that's going right is happening, there's just a wall of like, no, we are not going to allow ourselves to capitalize on this good thing that is happening. We are going to piss it away somehow by not focusing.
Bottom line, they can't put close to 48 minutes of good basketball together. They can have a good stretch. They can have a good 5 minutes. But how many good quarters have they had all the way through, honestly? Or just good half? I mean, they have had some good halves, I guess, because they've had leads in enough first halves. They've blown the most 10-point plus leads so far.
10 points.
Yeah, 10
These
points.
days.
And I mean, they were up 10 early on Dallas. Did that mean that much? No.
They've been up early 10
that was the first quarter.
On everybody.
Well, so they're getting off to good starts. Everybody used to complain about first quarters. Now you get the other side of it.
You got what you wanted. But you're right, though. Like, Will, watching this team, it's never like we are in control. There's nothing.
No, nothing at all. I think even asking for 4 quarters of competent basketball currently
league average
is a tall order. Like, forget about good. Can we get 4 quarters of competent basketball?
There's nothing you can rely upon with this group right now at all. There's nothing you can hang your hat on. I mean, you can rely on some of the negative things, but I mean the positive stuff.
Gonna say, I got a couple things.
There's nothing to find there. I will say this:
Kawhi's the best free throw shooter in the league.
Yeah, I was happy to see Coach Lue pull the bench the starters lever a minute and a half into that third quarter. That did something for me.
Was Harden's 96 seconds of the second half some kind of a message there too? He played a minute 25 in the second half of that basketball game. Kawhi played
everybody else came back except for him with the starters. I went back and watched some tape to see where he was on the bench. I wanted to see the rest of what Kawhi did because he had 19 in the fourth quarter. And I was like, you know what? I got to rewatch this. And he did have some incredible plays. And they were playing way harder, which I think was the message. If you're not going to play hard, you are going to be benched.
Message.
James Harden was on the bench all the way on the left side, but he was clapping and looked somewhat engaged for those that care about that body language stuff when they made shots. So I don't know if there's something to read into there or not.
He was playing particularly poorly that game. So maybe Tyler was like, this isn't getting better.
The last 2 games from James have been really bad. And now 2 things can be true. Last 2 games were awful from him. He's also been their best player this season.
Right. Like it is hard for me. Like when you play so badly, it does show, you know what? Because it's like, there's the body language thing. Right. But like, I think he has like a couple more games, I guess, for me because of what he's done this year. Not that we're winning games, but he's made them a lot easier to watch and deal with, I guess.
It could have been as simple as he didn't come back into the game because he's played by far the most minutes for them this season.
I hope it's that. Like, I hope it's some sort of conscious thing to keep something in the tank if they're able to get even semi-competent. I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
What? Yeah,
if they're at 5-20, like you got to be thinking like, let's just shed some salary because they're only over the tax $5 million or something. I think they just like slash Brooke Lopez, who's already getting DNP'd, and they can reset their repeater tax.
You're wearing a jacket today, so you got the front office vibes. I'm appreciative of that. So people do want change, right? Which I'm not knocking people that are frustrated.
Oh, I think there'll be some changes. I'm just not. I'm not confident at this point that it can promote that much winning.
That's the thing. So I was trying to think of like taking out the people who are like hire Mike Malone, because I'm like, yeah, just who wants to come coach this Clippers team? guy, I don't think he wants to do that. It's like there's like two options for people who want change in terms of realistic changes, I think. If things like we get another couple of 30-2 runs and stuff like that, where it's like either Lawrence Frank is ensured that he's still the GM and then they just fire Ty Lue and have an internal hire ride out the rest of the season, or they're both canned and then they have an interim GM and an interim head coach to ride things out.
Works for Denver.
But that to me feels like if you want change, those are the two things I think you should maybe not expect, but if there were to be a change, that's what I think they would be looking at. And I don't know.
Yeah. Those are probably the options. I don't know how much it's.
I don't love either of them. Like,
Locke came on with me pregame and was like, the same guys on the coaching staff that aren't able to get more out of the team right now, you want them to be the head coach. I just find a lot of this shocking, and to see this record of 5-16, change could be coming. That's how sports work. It's much easier to let go of one person than have massive roster turnover. But I would look at shipping players out before firing the GM or the head coach.
I like that idea.
I think, and this is the issue. Like so many teams find themselves in is like it's a lot harder to completely overhaul a roster than it is to fire your front office and coaching staff. And I mean,
a roster with no picks either. Like it's not like it's
a roster with no picks either. Like we have zero leverage in any of these things. Like we not zero, but we have like pretty limited leverage.
Close. It's close. It's kind of close to zero. They're playing poorly. Like, but and that's what I meant.
I mean, like, do you change your approach? I mean, if the supporting cast is looking this bad. It's looking this bad. We've exalted the praises of James Harden, last game excluded, and Kawhi when available. But like, if everything else is so meh and so broken, like, do you have to think that maybe even if you're eyeing 2027, it's further away than you think, and like maybe you do make deals that, even if it yields the same or worse of a result this season, that you kind of have to pivot what your strategy is long-term for a team. Because we're looking at one of the worst starts in franchise history, which is incredible to say for the Clippers organization. Like, this is just an organization that, prior to the arrival of Ballmer was like just marred in beyond mediocrity, terribleness. And we're talking about one of the worst starts in franchise history here.
I think to that point, like when people were talking about the DeMar trade, it was like, dude, if you're going to trade for DeMar DeRozan, trade everybody and just start over in the Clippers sense. Because we're not a DeMar DeRozan away from anything. And like, he's off the team next year. You know what I mean? Like, he's 10% salary, all that stuff. Like, it's like, if you're going to, in my head, if you're going to make one trade that involves like, let's trade John Collins, who I still think has a chance to maybe get some kind of an extension from the Clippers. There's only 3 guys on the roster for 27, 28. Like, just, you know what I mean? Like, if you're going to make the small move, what's the point of the small move?
I got a question. Is Kawhi Leonard tradable because of the aspiration stuff and his contract?
Man, I've been like trying to pretend in my head. I'm like, of course, the aspiration stuff doesn't matter. But then I'm like, it has to matter a little bit.
And if you can't trade Kawhi, do you trade other guys to make the team worse while Kawhi is still here?
And then maybe he demands a trade and then you can't get anything for him because they're like, well, he wants a trade.
like that could get really messy.
That gets gross because that's like you trade Zoo.
Like Kawhi on a clearly tanking team just by himself. That doesn't seem like something he'd want at 34. But if you can't move
safe,
him,
it just doesn't.
Yeah. Shut him down for the season. I don't know.
Right. Because he's still got another year.
I do think I don't want to make rash decisions that would preclude them from going after much better free agents in the future. I know
No, I agree.
2027 might seem far off, but this has always been the plan. And if you're going to have a knee-jerk reaction to bring in somebody that's good or decent but not great just to satisfy the fans that something different is going on, but ultimately it's going to hold you back from being a very good team that can contend again, I don't want to see that.
Right. Like I was texting with Justin Rousseau in French. And I was like, would they do the DeMar thing? And he pointed out that like next year his contract is 10% of what, so it's like they would, but if they did, he probably wouldn't be on the team next year. So like to your point, Adam, it's like great, we get a year of DeMar DeRozan and we lose out on maybe signing a guy who could be an okay young piece.
Yeah, well, and I'm not suggesting that. I'm not suggesting any sort of stopgap for this. I'm saying, like, do you start to like seriously evaluate like how you can amass more draft capital, or do, you know, even just going for younger guys with upside, you know, if it's not the home run trade that you want, but there's like some younger players with upside even that haven't realized potential yet. Like, do you start to think out that plan a little bit differently than like currently constructed? I mean, and it still is difficult because of the pieces that you're dealing with. Like, you're talking about aging superstars who can still contribute very well. I mean, could fit into a lot of teams. I mean, depending.
And have clout, like you said. Like these are guys that are like James Harden is helping recruit Bradley Beal. You know what I mean? Like these guys have cachet.
If they said we're trading the superstars, let's say you can get something decent for Kawhi and James Harden, a late first round pick, whatever. And players that don't have 5-year poison pill type contracts that are going to nuke your chances of bringing in Giannis or whoever. If you can do all that, and even if you bring in DeMar, okay, his contract is up in 2027. Yeah. If you bring in guys like that, or even if you say we're just going full youth movement, OKC pick, be damned, we do not care.
People would be so mad. That would be so funny.
But it's like they're trying to win now. And OKC could end up getting a great pick. At least you might end up with some first round picks while you're losing instead of what's happening currently.
Yeah. And I also think that like I think everyone has to be on the table if you go that route too.
Yeah.
I think you keep,
including Zoo.
Oh,
which I hate. Which I hate, but nobody will get you more than Zoo.
No one's getting you more than like Derek Jones Jr. stays because he's hurt. I don't think you're trading a hurt guy who's also on a good contract.
I think you could trade him.
I think you could
absolutely trade him.
Yeah, his contract's so cheap though. 10
But like, if somebody is offering you a pick and a player on near that contract,
then it's bumped in. Yeah,
it has to all be about the future at that point. Even somebody that's 28, 29.
Oh, you're right.
Sorry.
Get out of here. We suck.
Wholesale changes. They could go that route while still keeping all the cap room for 26, where they could have a max slot in 26 and 2 in 27.
And I will say cap room is difficult if you don't have much to sell people on, but it is still LA.
LA, Ballmer, new arena. I mean, look at Devin Booker and how he reacted to the arena last year, wanting to shake Ballmer's hand and stuff like. Guys do care about this stuff. And also,
you don't have to talk to the press. You can kind of do whatever you want.
It's not just about getting unrestricted free agents, which is less likely in today's NBA. It's about, okay, they get some first round picks back and they have some expiring contracts, and you package stuff like that together to bring in somebody that absorbs some of the cap room instead of just getting somebody as an unrestricted free agent.
Yeah. Man.
Hey, I would love for them to turn this thing around, but we got to be realistic with where this could be going.
what does turning it around look like?
They are
a 20-5 run.
Whew.
They're like 5 games out of a play-in spot.
That's not that many.
It's not. It's not currently.
5 games out of 10.
I mean, you got 18 in March. You go 17-1. You're making up some ground there.
Didn't think about that.
Right? Have we thought about this?
Got some momentum going into the playoffs.
The
play-in, sorry.
How this team could go 17-1 in March? Yeah, I think, and again, I'm not quite at the I don't know what firing someone does as of right now. If we see 4 more games in a row or something, if we have a 3 games in 4 nights, which thank you NBA scheduled geniuses for that. If they go 0-3 and they have 3 more instances of a 30-2 run or something, then I'm like, okay, then we're in maybe someone should be let go territory. I'm much closer to the
at 5-20. I just you have to do something.
It is such a unique scenario though. They don't have picks, and I know that it sucks that it's our unique scenario. Yeah. But it's such a weird because again, this job is.
But that's what I'm saying though. That goes back to the head coaching and front office thing. And if you're eyeing a significant rebuild, do you even want to partake that with the same president of basketball operations as you've had through this era? I don't know.
The problem is these are the guys that set you up for this plan. If you bring in somebody else, first of all, how attractive of a job is it considering they don't have their picks? And are they just going to have to submit to the same plan because that is the most rational way to do this?
Yeah.
So what are we changing? What is someone else's vision going to be that's going to be drastically different considering the Clippers don't own their draft pick till 2030?
It's a collision.
Play faster, less turnovers.
Bomber goes, wait a second. It's a collision of a team that has to be patient because of the big trade that they made for Shea in an NBA sphere that is the opposite of that. Obviously this was a plan. People didn't think that we were going to be 5-16. We thought we would maybe win 50 games or whatever, but you didn't think the floor was 5-16, right? So it being this bad, it's I wonder if they're just well, this is an anomaly. John Collins shooting his lowest percentage from 3 and 2 he's ever had in his career. There's a bunch of goofy shit going on, but we're in this sports sphere where it's the NBA is going to look so different at this trade deadline. I think I'm not breaking stories like Shams. I'm not doing this for press, but things just expectations and the whole apron thing makes shit move so differently, but the Clippers have to ride this out. So again, they were the first to kind of deal with the first apron stuff when they moved Paul George. They're the first team and probably only team, because I don't think another team will make a trade like they did, to try and figure out the future with this new CBA with 0 draft picks and being ass. And being apparently one of the worst teams in the league.
Well, it's just so crazy because we're not that far removed from how they were able to pivot from the 2-1-3 era. I mean, it was a rousing success, and then with the
even
youth
the Lob
and
City era.
Yeah, and with the how overnight the change in the youth movement and speed and possession battle has become in the NBA, and how aggressive defenses are. It's just they're ancient on the court. They're playing a different ball game.
They're dribbling like this. They're using their fingertips.
I still see the second half of that game last night when Kawhi comes back in down 38, and I'm like, so why didn't you guys play this hard earlier? Is it age or is it effort? Where was this? Where was this pop that I'm seeing? Avisa Zubats going up for a huge dunk and playing like they give a damn. I still wonder how much of it is just they needed some tough love from Coach Lue, and he finally said no. A minute and a half into the third quarter, you're out. I don't know.
And maybe
we'll find out tomorrow.
I mean,
I will say
if we go 0-3, but you're seeing Coach Lue do aggressive things, like what do you do with that?
Yeah, my concrete shoes are 5 pounds less than my thing. Before we talk about this next week, my thing with, damn it, I totally lost my train of thought. All right, never mind. It'll come back to me at an inopportune time.
But do you just, to Will's point, do you feel like stability in body of work has to play a major factor here, even in what looks like a lost season, that this is just an anomaly? This is an outlier. Like, I'm looking at, the Miami Heat win 37 games last year. They've had a 39 win season with Eric Spoelstra, and there's no talk of like Eric Spoelstra's out of here. People are going to say, well, you can't compare those two. Yeah, you can, because I've heard the same stuff about Coach Lue. Oh, he was carried by LeBron, and that's the only reason he won a title.
Yeah.
I know he's gotten back there through the play-in because the East was so bad, and I do think he's the best coach in the league. But there are some similarities there, and they know he's their guy. He's their lifer. They gave him the extension like a year before or 6 months before Coach Lue got his, just this last year, before the start of last season. Do you just say, this is our guy, it's an off season, bad seasons happen, we're going to see it through, we're going to stick with this group?
I wonder if Ty wants to do that for a super long time.
I think that's a good point, because I think Ty's been frustrated for a while. Because
how could you
everybody talks about Coach Lue and Marcus Morris and all these things. Like, who's had to deal with a worse hand over the last 6 years than Coach Lue with star availability?
Dude,
nobody. It's not close.
Right. And he
he keeps getting knocked out in the first round. Yeah, maybe go back and look who was available in most of those series. We had one healthy series this past year, and yes, he deserves some criticism for that. But how many times has he had all his guys?
So that's what I wonder too. If like Ty Lue's like, yeah, sign me up for a weird softish rebuild, not softish rebuild, weird, jagged, painful rebuild.
Thought he was going Alanis Morissette there for a second.
I wish, but I'm also like, Van Gundy doesn't want to do that shit either. People are like, hire Van Gundy to be the head coach. Dude,
he can't be a head coach at this point.
Dude, he does not want to be a head coach. Like, you think the offense would blossom if we have Van Gundy as our head coach? Like,
the thing that sucks though is like outside of the clear top team, the West is fairly open.
Outside of a team that's going to win 73 games.
Yeah.
It's 3 games between 2 and 7. Like,
yeah.
You got a lot of teams like in this middle ground. So I don't know how that affects like any sort of potential dealings either. If other teams are like, we're this far away, or like, we see things could swing in our favor. I don't know.
You make up those 5 games to get into the play-in.
But that's the other thing about trades too, is like it really truly does depend on the market. Like, you're not getting 4 firsts for Rudy Gobert in this current market, but you did at the time.
If your best hope is getting out of the 9-10 plan, which means you end up playing the 1 seed Oklahoma City Thunder, and that is your end game to this season, that's pretty bleak.
What do you think the I think that plus minus differential in a 7-game series against the Thunder would be right now?
That ain't going to be called a 7-game series.
Oh, man. I would so much rather, and I don't usually go this route. I cannot stress enough how much I would rather not make the playoffs than get beat by a cumulative 165 points over 4 games against the Thunder.
That would be embarrassing. That would be so demoralizing.
Dude, talk about the Clippers getting made fun of. That would be,
Well, that's why even last year I was like, if you lose to the Thunder, which would have happened in the second round.
I don't know, bro.
That
I had some
the
insane texts from people during that run.
That's the type of storyline that could get people fired. That it all comes to a head, and the guy that you traded ends up beating you. Or in this case, if they played him in the first round this season, I mean, they would get dominated with the way the Clippers are playing. It would be a 3-game series.
NBA's like,
but if you give Thunder a lottery pick, are jobs still safe?
Yeah, because that has to have been built into the rationale of the trade.
Yeah, that's fair.
You do have to
We're going to be so good, they're going to be lower picks.
But there's no way there's a contingency plan where they're like, we might suck ass. Like there is a chance. I hope someone in the room was like, what if we suck ass one year and it's the number 1 pick?
You know what the response was? We already won a championship. We're okay with that.
Yeah.
That's what it was. All this is fine if you had won that championship.
Right.
You're comforted by that. And you would have gotten it before OKC won.
Still can get one in this era. Tough times. But on the plus side, they get to play 3 games in 4 days, which we're going to talk about after this audio break. If you're listening to us, I think it's still loud. We've gotten 0 complaints about the audio levels recently. So we appreciate that. If you want to watch us, find us at youtube.com/@Clippers Podcast. Coming up, we're talking the upcoming week in Clippers basketball in 3, 2, 1.
All right. Welcome back into Clips and Dip, the most positive Clippers podcast on the internet. I'll just go with that one.
On the internet. On the
we talked about
dang internet.
We talked about where we've been. It's time to look ahead to where we're going.
Are we going to 5-19?
We got a 3-4. This team has a short amount of time to figure some stuff out. I don't know. I guess we'll just start with the Hawks on Wednesday, which will be the day after we're releasing this. Where are you guys at?
Well, they don't have Trae Young, so they're probably going to win. And the guy who made 8 threes against us last time is also able to play. So I feel pretty shitty.
Yeah, Hawks have been playing well. 6-4 their last 10. Jalen Johnson looks like everything that people imagine he could be if he stayed healthy.
What are the Clippers in the last
like
10?
An all-star. In their last 10, they're 0-12. I don't know how that works.
What the hell?
They're 2-8.
We still, and this goes back to my thing that I said again last week of like, it's so hard to try and look at this team on a game-by-game basis because they are so bad. And even when they do the things that they are bad at, well, they just still find ways to lose the game.
They forgot how to win, honestly. They are expecting to lose. The other team's expecting to win. They can come back. They can hit everything from 3 against the Clippers. They know that when you play the Clippers, these are the things that happen for you.
Do we think so? They play Hawks Wednesday, back-to-back Friday, Saturday. Do we think they could remember how to win and go 3-0?
Not on a back-to-back.
Agreed. Hate to say it, but you're right.
Hey, what are you talking about? Kawhi just played a back-to-back. Oh, they lost both those.
That's why I changed it to the hell
my back-to-back comment wasn't even pointed at Kawhi. It was just in general. I don't.
No, yeah. The Atlanta, Friday, Memphis, Saturday, Minnesota.
And then they're back home for a minute, right? To like the 15th.
They have a rescheduled game in here, right? Because Saturday, December 6th against Minnesota, and then their next game is December 11th at Houston. So they have one of the in-season tournament games scheduled in there.
Yeah.
The fallout from the in-season tournament.
Yeah, which we could have won. Why do we have a back-to-back in the 4 days? And then they play the Grizzlies on the 15th at home.
It will be interesting to see when they finally win that game, what that does for this Clippers team after losing so many.
When they finally win that game.
Could that start something?
Could something... Is something
When was the last time something was birthed by this team?
Dude, honestly, that is a good question, man.
The last thing that was birthed was Rosemary's Baby.
I thought there was a third quarter against some team that beat us, but I thought they played well. And I was like, this is maybe the best stretch of basketball I've watched all year. And then I think we went on to lose. We probably did, but
the Boston Philadelphia games on the road, those 2 back-to-back games where James Harden had chances to win it with 3-pointers, and one was a foul in Philly.
Yeah, those felt great.
Yeah,
all of these. I like
those were the losses. Those were the days. Those were the type of losses we could.
When is the NBA gonna implement like a quality loss column? You know, like
college football ranking committee or
what would we be if the BCS was still around?
The computers would not like us right now.
No, they would not. What do we think? 2-1?
No.
You're thinking 0-3?
I hope 2-1. I'll say 1-2.
I think it's 1.
Yeah, I think it's 1-2.
I think it's loss, win, loss. Do we bring the dips back? I asked Twitter and they think we should. People want us.
That would be the full admission the season is over.
Okay, yeah. Let's maybe wait. What's the
5-20?
Is the record 5-20 that we bring the dips back?
If they get to 5-20, sure.
Oh, I'll tell you what. If they get to 420, that would be
going backwards. They're
going to take away a win.
They fucking might, dude. One of them was a buzzer beater. What if they review that? What if Pablo Torre decides to review the buzzer beater and finds out that they got to take it away from us? Okay, 5-20 will bring the dips back. I think we might have to. Yeah, probably.
So that means they lose the next 4 on the road trip.
Yeah.
If that happens, the dips are back.
I don't think they'll lose the next 4.
Hey, I didn't think they'd lose the last 5 or the last 14 of 16 or
they can't
get real here.
They're not going to lose the next 4. They're not going to lose 9 in a row. That's impossible.
Chuck, you are really tempting fate here.
And so here's the thing. I hate that I'm tempting fate by saying I don't think they'll lose the next 4.
We won 2 games in November. Fuck. We won 2 games in a month of basketball.
Man. I know.
The first full month of the season, we won 2 games.
Hannah keeps asking me why I'm still watching. She says you get so mad. I said, well, that's because they play
People don't even make jokes about it anymore at work. They're just like,
no, bro.
Sorry.
Someone asked me how I was doing, and I said, doing great. Loving these 5-16 Clippers. And they went, okay.
I'm getting people from the Bill Walton era like, this is the worst I've ever seen it.
Someone on YouTube was like, sounds like you guys have never watched the Clippers team lose before. I want to be like, first of all, idiot, this is a completely different scenario than being completely mismanaged like it used to be.
You're right. They've had 14 straight winning seasons, sir. It's been a while.
It's been 100 years.
We're so entitled.
This season feels like it's been 100 years, but it hasn't. It's been 100 years. I don't know.
So you got them losing tomorrow, but winning the game against Memphis and losing to Minnesota?
Winning one of the back-to-back games. However, if they do go 0-3,
Adam, are you changing your tune to 2-1?
If they do go 0-3, I will concede they have a pretty good shot at going 5-20.
Collins revenge game, win.
God,
get the Grizzlies, win.
Guys, John Collins, I've been watching closely. If I put together a mixtape of how much he's being hunted on defense the last 3 or 4 games, I don't think people would believe it. I don't think after every timeout, ATOs, everybody's just going right at him. Ooh, I did not think the defense would be this bad from him.
And he's not doing himself any favors on the other end of the floor.
And he's missing layups.
So
Coach Lou's not putting him in a position. He's missing
He's layups. Right here. The rim's right here.
Jesus. And by the way, he shot over 38% combined the last 2 years from 3. So I don't want to hear this like he's not a 3-point shooter. He needs to hit some threes.
He's shooting his literal, I believe last time I checked, just probably too recently, his worst 3-point and 2-point percentage of his career.
We're not using him right. He shouldn't be,
Right. Well, he can't dribble. So,
did you see what happened in the Lakers game in the fourth quarter against him with those backdoor cuts and just him being like, "Oh, there's a guy there. I'm the low man."
The defense is crazy. The defense is much worse than I thought it was.
Can you do a sub on a per possession basis? Has that been tried before?
It happens late in games.
They do the wrestling move where they
using him correctly is lob threat only on offense, and then he's taken off the floor.
And then he's hiding on defense. No, what they got to do is
not just hiding. Trick. He's off the floor.
You give yourself a little cut on the top of the hand, and that way you got to make a sub. You go, blood on my jersey. There's blood on my jersey. I got to sub out. It's unsafe.
Hey, wait. Is the injury report out for tomorrow? It's got to be.
Bogey is out.
Fuck.
His day-to-day injury, as Law Murray put it, is now a day-to-day.
Well, 5 and 20 is back on the menu, boys.
It's not even, bro. Are we at? Okay, so here's what's frustrating: is 5 for 20 is a goddamn Chili's deal.
Applebee's, please.
Okay, whatever. It's the point stands.
You can get 5 items for $20.
Yeah, it's like probably like 2 weird daiquiris and like a tiny steak.
You get an appetizer. You get dessert. It's a dinner for 2 thing.
Okay, fellas, we're going to dinner if they get to 5 and 20.
Yeah. Are we?
We're going to dinner.
Where?
I'm going to a bar.
Okay. Applebee's is 2 for 20. I was off.
Shit.
Fuck.
Well, there goes that brand partnership.
If they get to 5 and 20, I will treat us all to Applebee's. On my dime.
I don't want to go to Applebee's.
Well, I don't want us to be 5 and 20, dude. And you're not paying for it.
Honestly,
you get whatever you want. They got salads.
I can't believe this is how bad things are. Jordan Miller comes back, has a 6-0 run, immediately hurts his back. He's questionable for tomorrow now too. Like we're at the point we could really use Jordan Miller.
We could use,
and he could use these reps. Like the last few weeks would have been great for him. Kobe Sanders has regressed some, or the book is out and teams are scouting him, and it's confidence. Whatever, it happens.
Cam Christie can't hit water if you fell out of a damn boat. I'm using ranch sayings now as how bad this team is.
Lasorda said that once.
Yeah.
Baklava.
That being said,
it's also from Bull Durham.
Why isn't the team going to Applebee's? Why am I not getting a report to more team dinners?
This is what I wanted to talk about. Wow, what a way to bring this all back. Earlier when I forgot what I was going to say. So, during the Lakers game, they talked about how the Lakers did some wacky outing together. They
pickleball tournament. Organized by Reddick.
Of
course he's a pickleball guy.
Oh, of course. He's suing to get a child's summer camp off of the pickleball court. Anyway, I was like, the Clippers should do some wacky team outings. Well, they did a shoot around. They did one extra shoot around. So on the
That's not
fun. On the wacky team outing scale, they're here. They're below the scale. We start getting more.
They gotta grab some stuff. They gotta grab some Sizzler. Go to Sky Zone.
We went to Sky Zone. We went to F1 kart. We start getting into, like, some of the guys have a graph crew and they go out and tag at night. Once we get to stuff like this, then
they are very disjointed.
Then we're rolling.
They need something going on. And I do know that, like, we make too much out of the team dinners and who's a team leader and who's
they haven't had one yet.
And all that stuff. And all that stuff. But there is something that looks very disjointed on this team. And I think you got to try to work that out somehow. I don't know. I don't know the answer.
Progressively
Except
wackier.
for what I just told you, I think that would fix it.
Progressively wackier. Oh, team shoot around kind of just feels like work. Oh,
that's more work.
Oh, team pottery class. This is fun.
Yeah. Team ropes course.
Well, nothing.
We know a guy.
Nothing high up where you would fall.
We know a guy who could lead the ropes course.
Do we?
You do.
Wait, do I? Oh, yeah, I do. Yeah, wackier shit.
I got a
Wakeboarding.
At
wacky
least
outing.
dinner.
Win a game. Win a game. That would be wacky.
Coach. All right, so
We're gonna have this crazy outing. It's at State Farm Arena in Atlanta tomorrow, guys.
Head coach,
Pretty cool.
this is very clearly the two differences in head coach Mockler and head coach Osland.
It's a
Osland's like, oh, you
scavenger
guys want a
hunt.
fun time? How about we win a fucking game? I'm like, candy. We got candy. Could bring this.
Can we bring Lou Will back just to vibe?
Honestly, yeah, dude.
I'll take Patty.
He's not going to
Mills,
play, to be
whoever.
clear.
Speaking of Clippers who were vibes, we're going to end the show on kind of a bittersweet note. Congratulations to Danilo Gallinari for retiring. Fantastic career. An incredible Clipper.
Yeah, he was good. It was a 2-year thing. Well,
For
how long
what
was
we
it?
needed.
He was a part of that 2019 first round series against Golden State.
And for what the team needed at the time, it was this transition period. It was like, dude, he's consistent, he's goofy, he's has a weird
If you look
song.
back, I mean, he and Tobias Harris were such a pivotal part into what would become the 2-3 era, which I know we all have bitter feelings on now, but a lot of things don't happen without those two guys. So,
and he was part of one of the greatest bits Will and I ever invented, or nicknames, which was Tobias Harris and Danilo Gallinari were Tobayo. Miriam Swanson hates that, which I don't get. Shout out Miriam Swanson, who does wonderful work. Anyway, crazy he's retiring. Shout out to Neo.
The Rooster.
The Rooster, man. All right. That about wraps things up. One of us is going to be in Las Vegas at a collegiate wrestling tournament this weekend, so there might only be an episode on Sunday, but we'll figure something out. There will be Clippers talk. I know that much. Thank you, Adam, for continuing to do that. And I'm sorry for the abuse that you get in the chat. Will.
They're not even real people. They're just trolls.
They're just bots. They're just bots.
It honestly makes me laugh.
Will, where can people... I do think when things are bad, it's kind of fun to listen to this show because we have a little bit of fun with it. Where can people review their sorrowful listening of Clips and Dip?
Yeah. We'll take pity likes. You can review us anywhere you get your podcasts. Over on Apple Podcasts or Spotify is the best way to do it. Helps us out. I don't know where they aggregate reviews on other things, but if you happen to listen somewhere else, go ahead, leave a little rating and review there. You can also check us out over on youtube.com at Clippers Podcast. But yeah, however you listen, however you watch, if you're still listening, if you're still watching, we appreciate you so much. Maybe we can turn this ship around, Dish.
Yeah, maybe. And if you've ever worked for Clips and Dip, leave us a review on Glassdoor. Go ahead and give us 5 stars for being a great employer there. Adam, this keeps getting more difficult every week. It started as a fun thing, but now it's like, damn, we need one positive thing to head into this 3-4.
Coach Lou finally pushed the if you're not going to play hard, you're not going to play button. And I want to see what happens tomorrow after the starters got benched the way it did in the third quarter.
There we go. We want to see it. Thank you for listening. As Will said, here's to me not having to take everyone to Applebee's. I don't want to be 5-20. And when we're 6-20, I'm going to party like a goddamn lunatic.
You know what's not good in the neighborhood? The Clippers right now.
No, not at all. Thank you to everybody. We will be back soon. And as always, let's go Clips.